it now. I'm a composer, and I've got lots of music now. But the process is always the same. You never feel you've cracked what it is you're looking for. And something like this, and I was just talking to a student today, in fact, and I was saying to him, let us make this the year of being wild. Sometimes you've got to actually push yourself to do something you haven't done before. And it's really important to, when you're working, I think, to somehow try and let yourself disappear. Do you know what I mean? In the teaching that I do, most of what I do is just encouraging people just to be themselves and just sort of saying, yes, it seems as if, because I feel composing is one of the most natural things, but a lot of people don't compose because I think they feel they're either not allowed to, or there's a whole heap of preconceptions that can go along with composing. And I think it's one of the scariest things to begin a piece, isn't it? It can be. I always have a lot of deadlines, so I have no choice. And then, I need to redo a roof, so I have to finish things. But what can I say? I think each composer is very different, has a whole different way of working, different ways of collaborating. I would say that collaborating is a marvellous thing because you can really stretch yourself in different ways. But it has its difficulties. You might not, people have different ways of working. Sometimes people can hang on to those ways of working. I always feel if you put the idea itself right in the middle of everything, and think about that rather than say yourself or what you might look like. Why I love composing so much is that I will never get tired of notes or sound, and it's amazing. An interval, one note, the sound of something, can spark an entire work that's really long work. Do you see what I mean? And I think we have to put loads and loads of, we have to be complex, or everything is about, I've written a lot of operas now, and so I've written 18, 19, maybe I'm about to start my 20th, and I'm nervous because I keep thinking, I don't know what it will be, will it work? I have no idea. And something like opera is always doomed to fail. Most operas don't really work. But what keeps me going is that it's the characters. It's the characters. I think I'll wait and see what they're going to say to me, and then that music is all about bringing those characters out. So it's not about what will I do to that subject. Do you see what I mean? I think music is one of those things where you go towards the idea. And what's wonderful about this project, surely you've got millions of ideas that you've held, and sometimes you don't even know you've had that idea and you've been really, pining to do it. I've had ideas that have taken, there's one happening now, 10 years I was thinking about this idea. And I just thought, oh well, every so often I've thought about it. And then now it's had a green light, I thought, whoa, I'm not ready. We've had 10 years. But so I keep thinking, well, and there was another thing I wrote. For 7 years I was working with the playwright April De Angelis. We both hit on the story, and we said, we love this story. So he said, let's just meet. We'd meet every so often in a coffee shop. We'd simply say, what is it we want to show? We didn't say anything, oh, what career do you want to build, what venue do you want, we just said, what is it we want to show, what do you want to tell? What are the important things of this story? And I think that's what I love about composing so much. You discover so much about the outside world, but it's always, you can be working on something. So I've started a piano concerto, and I've been putting it off, and my friend said, just start it. And I thought, oh God, I better start it. And it's amazing, I just started it, and I really like it. And it's partly because I thought, let me put out my head the idea of what a piano concerto is. All a piano concerto is a collection of instruments and the piano. Now, I love the piano. So that piano concerto will have all the things I like about playing the piano, and it's as simple as that. You don't have to feel you have to be like something else. You don't have to, you can ignore history. I feel with writing music, life is so short, you might as well write exactly what it is you want to do and bring all your love and passion into it. That's what I'm saying. Any questions? Any questions?
Can you talk a bit more about collaborating with other people?
Yes. I think it's important to say that collaborators don't need to be friends. Sometimes your job is to go and find people to collaborate with. Sometimes people will come to you. So I'm going to be collaborating with an artist. I've never met this artist. They're American. And it involves going to Glasgow, and we'll do something. Might be some sort of installation in Glasgow and then New York. But it's responding to some poetry. But I have never met this fellow. But we had a chat on the phone. He was calling from Singapore, I think it was. And from that conversation, we didn't talk that long, but I thought, yes, I know we can work together. So in other words, sometimes collaboration is about hunches. I would say many collaborations, you must expect some level of difficulty, because we're human beings, and sometimes you've got a very strong idea and somebody else may disagree. But what's good about it is that you can see somebody else's point of view. I'm always nervous about, what's the word? I'm always nervous about making work by committee. So in other words, where everybody just disagrees and then you just go for something else and you know it's not right. So there are times you have to fight for something, but fight for something not because it's your ego, but because you feel there's something strong to say. I think you can tell in an instant those works that have sort of conviction, but sometimes those works might have been difficult to make, but collaboration is about bringing lots of energies together, and it's always an adventure. And I think, I mean, a lot of my work is sitting alone writing, but even that is a collaboration, because I think it's for people to play, and the moment that score's handed over, it goes. There's a conversation. So I think collaboration is. So I'm involved in something at the moment, for example, where it's the very, 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 very beginning of this idea. Everybody's very excited about this idea. But I know for a fact I have to work very closely with the writer before we bring a director. And I don't know why I know that, but I know for this project that's the right thing. I'm having to quite fight for that, do you see what I mean? Because people want the dramaturgy to come right at the beginning, but sometimes you just need that space, as you were saying, to be vulnerable and to experiment without too many people involved. So I think collaboration, I mean, I really, really love it. I once worked with a writer, and it got to the point where it got a bit out of hand. It got to the point where I couldn't actually even have boyfriends. I had a new, and because she would get jealous, and so this new boyfriend, we were making up together. I just remember this, and this new boyfriend said, "Oh, somewhere to go on a date." Said, "Oh, I think she should come with us too." You're so kind. So that's not the sort of collaboration. But I would still say you don't need to be bosom buddies. And what I really love so tremendously about collaboration, you can get a window into somebody else's mind, and it just totally expands, not just their approach to that idea, but all their other experiences in making work. It's incredible. And so through that that's why I like working with people as well who aren't musicians, because you just get a sense of, the wider cultural landscape.